It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. You're listening to City Beat. I'm Monika Gul, and with me today is Mayor Dennis Fenske. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
If you have a question you'd like to ask Mayor Fenske, give us a call at 677-8181. First, what's been happening around the city?
Well, with the weather happening the way it is, again, from a safety share perspective, obviously the ice is in no condition to be on in the lakes and the rivers, so please stay off. We had an incident last weekend where we had a lady go through the ice, and unfortunately a dog was lost on the Burntwood River. So again, with this mild weather, just be cautious of the ice or the lack thereof on both the rivers and the lakes. But in addition to that, what the other thing that happens is we currently have a water break on Goldeye Crescent that's significantly got an amount of water on the road, and with it freezing and thawing, it's running today into the open manhole. Tonight it'll freeze, so it'll be icy tomorrow morning, so be very cautious of that. We're just waiting MTS to do some locates so we can repair the dig, but just be aware of the water break on Goldeye and Thompson Drive.
Some good reminders. Santa Claus Parade was supposed to happen this past weekend, but it's been canceled. But there are some residents trying to save it, so to speak. Tell us about that.
Okay, so it's just deferred at this point. So the program or process is that we need 10 floats registered by tomorrow end of day with the Recreation Department or Lindsay Anderson at the Public Works or Bobby Montine. If we get the 10 floats, and this is the committee, not the City of Thompson, but if the committee gets 10 floats, then the parade will go ahead on December 12th. Same route and same end location at the TRCC. So hopefully by tomorrow we'll have 10 floats in place and we can go ahead with the Santa Claus Parade.
You mentioned it's a committee. Now, Nickel Days Parade is also not organized by the city, so then the Santa Claus Parade is also not organized by the city?
That's correct. The Nickel Days, the Lions work with the Nickel Days board in regards to organizing the committee. Nick DiVirgilio has been a standard there for years. In our case, there's a committee that works on the Santa Claus Day and also with National Child Day. And there's an event that goes around with a parade accumulating at the TRCC with the lighting of the tree. So it's a committee that the City of Thompson is part of, and so it was a committee decision based on only having 4 floats registered to cancel or defer the parade at this point, and it's that same committee that'll make the decision tomorrow at the end of the day. If we have 10 floats, we'll move ahead. If we don't have 10 floats, we won't move ahead, and hopefully we'll plan for next year. But so as it is right now, if we have 10 floats tomorrow, there will be a parade on December 12th.
All right, great. We have a caller here. Kurt, hi. What's your question for Mayor Dennis Fenske? I think we might have lost Kurt, but I have a note here that says he was wondering about 911 service, when Thompson might get a 911 service here.
911, it's been in the talks for a number of years provincially. There is a 911 service that's centered out of Brandon for Manitoba. But from the Thompson perspective, we have our local numbers here of 677-7961 for fire emergency, and for 7611 for fire and emergencies, and 7711 for fire and emergency, I believe. I may be mistaken on those numbers, but basically we don't have 911. It's been discussed. The difficulty is in northern Manitoba geographically. Having a center out of Brandon to dispatch resources in northern Manitoba proves difficult, and so it's a logistically thing that we have to work through. And currently, all calls go through Thompson City Fire Department.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Kurt. Public budget consultations happened last night. How did that go? And for those who missed it, what are some ways they can get their say?
Basically, we have the annual public consultation. We didn't have a large turnout from the public, which is not surprising. That's normal. But we did have Paul from Shaw TV there, so it's definitely been taped and will be on Shaw Cable in the future. It's also the presentation that our CFO Jenny Krentz provided to us PowerPoint will be or is on Thompson.ca if people want to go through the 2015 where your taxes go and have gone as we prepare for the 2016. We will be holding another public consultation event in January. We'll be publicizing that shortly in regards to where and when, but hopefully we would encourage people to come out. Most likely it'll be at the Thompson Regional Rec Center at the multipurpose room again, but date and time to be determined, but we will get that information out.
Great. And now I believe we actually have Kurt now. Hi, Kurt. Do you have a question again for the mayor?
I do, yeah. There we are sitting there in a nice calm office, and you can't come up with the 911 number, the correct number. How is someone in a panic situation going to do it? You're just talking safety, and I think it's an issue for the city, and we have to get on it.
I agree, and unfortunately, at spur of the moment, I don't have the phone book in my head, and I should know that off the top of my head, and I'm drawing a blank. But it is fire and emergency services and the police that you call. In the case of emergency, we currently don't have 911 locally. It's been discussed provincially. The 911 service is provided out of Brandon at this point in time, and we're moving towards that.
Great. Thompson's newest school, École Communautaire La Voie du Nord, I hope my French is good there. It's opening its doors to students on January 4th in the new year, and with that will be the addition of a new school zone, correct?
Correct. So what we've done in anticipation of the opening of the Francophone School is that Weir Road has been designated and amended through the bylaw, the speed zone bylaw, that becomes a 30-kilometer speed zone from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, September to June, as is all of the elementary schools in Thompson. So right now you'll see signage there with bags over the top. They're covered, so they're not in effect at this point. Once the school opens on January 4th, the bylaw will be in effect, and we caution people to recognize and observe the school zone in front of the Francophone School.
Okay. During this week's City Council meeting, a resolution to pass the 2016 fees and fines schedule was passed. What are some changes, if any, residents can expect next year?
Well, basically the process we go through is we provide administration provides us with comments in regards to the existing fee and fine schedule. If there are no changes in regards to the parameters of a fee or fine, then the previous year's tax increase is applied to that rate. Administration will advise if the current fee or fine should remain static or status quo, or they'll provide justification for an increase as well. So as far as the changes, there will be minor changes. It's again available on Thompson.ca to review, and the new fee and fine schedule will be in place as of January 1st.
Okay. Last Friday, the province made an exciting announcement that a new trades training center is going to be built in Thompson, with construction expected to start as early as next year. Just some background information, it will house a number of trades programs, including electrical, heavy-duty equipment mechanics, and carpentry, just to name a few. How will this benefit residents, particularly maybe our younger residents who this facility is maybe more geared towards, and how will it also benefit the city as a whole?
Well, the Trade Center, great announcement for our community. It will provide training for apprentices in the heavy-duty mechanic area, the instrumentational, plumbing, carpentry. It's approximately a 20,000 square foot facility. Estimated construction costs around $15 million. It'll be located on the R.D. Parker grounds next to the aviation building. And so that's a huge win for the city of Thompson and the region, and look forward to kids being able to move across the hall from the shops program that currently exists at R.D. Parker into the new facility to continue their training, and for those that are beyond school age to get into the apprenticeship and training program so that they can become skilled trades, of which there's a great shortage in northern Manitoba.
Yep, for sure. And now I wanted to end off with Southern media. You mentioned something interesting during your mayor's report this week, and that was that it seems the media down south, so I guess more in Winnipeg, they don't seem to know much about us here in Thompson. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with media in the south and why you think it is the way it is.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate and just say that how much we appreciate the local media, all of you included, in that statement. As to the professional conduct and the professionalism you bring to your trade, and for the most part, other medias in southern Manitoba and across Canada again do a great job. But occasionally, and I had this occasion last week, where you go through an interview about Thompson, what's happening in Thompson, you're presenting a positive story, and you get some of the questions that just make you sit back and say, really, are we actually getting anywhere with media? The old phrase was perimeteritis, but when journalists ask you if you have an airport in this day and age, we have the second busiest airport in Manitoba. If they ask you if you have a train rail system, when the rail system to Churchill is first and foremost in tourism and Omnitrax and the grain shipments, and you still get those types of questions, you really have to take a step back. And again, we have to place it at our feet as well as a community. We need to get out and promote our community. We tend to be a little insulated and isolated, and so I'm not surprised when people ask the questions that maybe they should know off the top of their head. But again, we have to also take responsibility and get the message of Thompson out to others in southern Manitoba and across Canada. So I think it was just a matter of frustration in a specific interview, but in general terms, we need to do more to promote our community, and as residents, we can do that everywhere we travel, talk about Thompson in a positive light, and in the same sense, educate the other medias as to what's available in Thompson.
All right. Now, before we wrap up for today, anything else you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I just want to correct the phone numbers for emergency services, 204-677-7911 for fire and emergency services, and 204-677-6911 for RCMP services.
Great. That's this edition of City Beat. Join us every Thursday around 11:30 to find out what's happening around the city and City Hall. For 102.9 CHTM, I'm Monika Gul.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning at